Truck Talk Media.
C10 Talk, episode 236, Sawdust and Blinker Fluid, otherwise known as Mikey Rector with his Honda Civic C10 or a C10 Civic. You be the judge. Here we go.
So I was like, I wonder if that front clip would fit. And so I went out there and measured on it, and it would totally fit. So it kind of got me to thinking. So I was like, I wonder if I could do that with that car. So I went looking for a vehicle, and I found this one. This is the truck.
Damn, son.
Hey guys, one of the biggest upgrades I was able to make on Orange Slice is my lighting. Think about this. You've got your old school sealed yellow lights. You put in new United Pacific headlights, boom, quadruple the lightage. They look better, they perform better, and guess what? They're safer. So you've got LED options, you've got new headlight options, they look great. And honestly, we upgrade so many things with our trucks, why not upgrade the lighting? When you do, think United Pacific. Go to upcarparts.com. That's right, upcarparts.com. Thanks, guys. Give them a follow on social media too, Facebook and Instagram.
Let me tell you what Melba's Toast is packing right here. I've got 411 posi track out back, 750 double pumper, Edelbrock intakes, scored over 30, 11-1 pop-up pistons, turbojet 390 horsepower. We're talking some bucking muscle.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind? That just happened.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 truck podcast.
And now I have a chance to be the best, maybe the best in the world.
My old man is a television repairman. Ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
I said I got 50 cents in that jukebox, and all I can hear is your mouth clapping. You hear that?
Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
What's up? What's up? Here we go, C10 Nation, bringing you a fresh pod just off of the 235 round table with Scott, Mikey, Chuck, and myself. So if you didn't get a chance, jump back to 235, catch up on that one. That one was it was fun. Now my audio is a little peaked. I've got something that's going to boost the audio, and it did exactly that. It boosted it a little too much. It's all boosted up. But we had a good time, and that's over on the YouTube as well. So if you want to watch it and listen, you can jump over to Truck Talk Media on the YouTube channel and check out episode 235 of the Roundtable. Well, we've obviously got something a little different for you today. This one is crazy, right? Found him on TikTok, and next thing you know, I'm like, hey, dude, you don't have IG, but you just wrapped a Honda Civic with the C10, or you stuffed a Civic into a C10. So something different, but it's cool, right? He saved a truck. You'll hear it. I'm not going to spoil it from you. Listen to it, see what you think. And I know there's going to be haters, but at the end of the day, I look at it like this guy saved this truck, and he's having a lot of fun with it. So I do appreciate him taking the time to be on the pod and share his story. All right, this last weekend looked like the fellas had a great time over in Mississippi at the Dead End Garage Crawfish Cruise-In and the ever so famous Crawdaddy 500. So on Friday night, they go to the go-kart track, raise a little hell, and then crawfish broil the next day. And I was out there, I think in 19? Yeah. What a great time. So put that on your list. If you can get out to Mississippi, Jason, the family, they do it up right. So it looks like everybody had a good time. You guys can check out a lot of people that were out there, and obviously the Dead End Garage social for the Crawfish Cruisin'. We've got some shows coming up May 13th, 14th, and 15th that weekend. C10 Nationals, Dallas, Fort Worth, and then the Battle in Bama in Mobile, Alabama. So both on that same weekend, depending on where you're going to go. In Dallas, you've got C10 Nationals, and then over in Mobile. So I'm going to see if I can't get Big Fish on for another YouTube episode, kind of like what we did with the roundtable. See if there's some Q&A, because he's got his big 100 square body auction coming up June 25th, Grand Island, Nebraska. So I'm going to see if I can't get Big Todd on, if it's not for the next episode, the one after that. But we'll let you know, so you can tune in. You can ask live questions just like we did with the roundtable over on YouTube. That's kind of the easiest format. And we could check out, hey, what you guys are saying and, answer direct right there. So I'll get Big TODD on. I'll let you know. But look for that to be episode 237. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll see if his schedule lines up, and we'll get that going on for the big 100 square body auction in Grand Island, Nebraska. A little pre-auction pod never hurts. And, he's got a ton of stuff, and it's not just trucks. He's got parts, Connex boxes full of parts. So look forward to catching up with Todd, and we'll put a little Q&A together. All right, let's jump into the show, episode 236 with Mikey. Again, Mike, thanks for taking the time. You guys check out his, he's got the TikTok. I did see that he started an IG page, so you'll get a little taste of it. And, of course, I'll push some stuff out. We did the interview. Mikey was standing by the truck. Mikey opened the hood. We walked around it. So that video from the interview will go over onto the YouTube channel probably a few days after this. So look for that by the end of the week, and then you can jump back and check that out as well. Okay? All right, let's get into the interview. Enjoy the pod. And as always, please let us know how we're doing. Rate, review the pod. You can get a hold of me, Ronnie, at Truck Talk Media. That's RONNIE at Truck Talk Media. Have a great week, guys. All right. C10 Nation. How about a little Virginia love? I don't know, Mikey, if I've had anybody from Virginia, and I will tell you, I haven't had a TikTok interview yet. So you're my first for sure on TikTok, and I'm going to guess on Virginia, but I've got Mikey Richter out of Virginia. He's a TikToker, and he's got a unique C10. Mikey, thanks for taking time to be on C10 Talk and spread the story and spread the joy of your C10 with the C10 Nation.
I appreciate you having me. First thing, it's actually a 20.
Oh, a C20. Okay. So it was a 3/4 ton. So that narrows down that it was a long bed, and
yeah,
you made it even more of a short bed, but we'll get into that. Tell us a little bit about Mikey for the audience on TikTok. Sawdust and Blinker Fluid, probably one of the coolest names. And then once I dove in a little bit more, I figured out why. At least it's Sawdust, and I think I kind of figured out why it's Blinker Fluid too. So go for it, Mikey.
Well, it's like one of my side gigs is I run a sawmill, actually on 2 sawmills, and I do anything from lumber to live edge slabs. Like I can cut 76 inches wide with my biggest mill, 24 foot long. A lot of you guys on the West Coast see a lot of those big pieces. Anyways, I market a lot of those, have buyers for that sort of thing. My day job, I actually program CNC machines for a company I can't really disclose, but we do anything from softball pitching machine motors. We make electric motors to missile guidance motors. Which mainly we do a lot of stuff like that for the military.
And for the audience, you got a couple, metal larks, robins in the background, because Mikey's just posted up, dude. I'm like, hey, get it on your phone. And we've got the truck there, and we've got, we've got a beautiful background. A little countryside here. Do you live out in the country?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're actually about 3 miles from a small town. And, we're in the middle of the country, dead end road.
So when you started your TikTok, and I kind of dove in, obviously, there's some really cool, I can see that you're machinist or you do stuff with machines, because there's the one I thought was so funny was your buddy is, the machine juice is squirting out and your buddy's sitting there, a little side profile. It reminded me of Stand By Me and the kid, the guy puking, it's a side camera puke shot. And then dude, I think some of the wood cutting stuff was probably the coolest stuff. yeah, I don't know. I didn't take the time to look at your views on that, but some of that stuff where you've got a big ass piece of maple or whatever walnut, and you're cutting it and slicing it and dicing it. That's like micro dirty jobs. That's kind of one of those things where I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool, almost therapeutic watching this guy cut this lumber.
Right. Yeah, I love doing it. It started out as a hobby. I built my first mill back in 2010. I wanted to do a chainsaw. Anyways, built my first mill, figured out that I needed a lot more to do to it. It was going to cost me a lot of money. So I bought a mill. It was manual, a lot of labor. Ended up going through a divorce. And so I rewarded myself after the divorce by buying a new full hydraulic sawmill. And that, snowballed into another mill, a loader, a big loader, a 5,000 square foot facility on 7 acres. I mean, it goes on. So I have,
and that's your side job.
Yeah.
When do you have time for your regular job, or how do you balance it all?
Well, and that's my regular job is an hour commute, which is the reason for the truck. It's 1 hour. Well, actually about 50 minutes one way, to work and then back. And, I get up pretty stinking early in the morning, go to work. I don't do overtime there. I can, but my overtime is the sawmill.
Yeah.
So when I get off work, I swing through, talk to the wife and the kids, head over, work there. I usually try and get home by 7:30 in the afternoon so we can have dinner and do the normal family stuff. We're early birds. We get in bed by like 9:30 p.m., maybe 10 at the latest. And then repeat. And then the weekends, sawmill time also. Yeah, I'm working myself to death.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you find time for the blinker fluid part? Wrenching on your toys.
Well, my son helps me out there at the mill a lot. And when we get a little bit of time here and there, we tinkered with it. A lot of people think I have a ton of time in it. And me and him was discussing it the other day. And we think we have somewhere between 80 and 100 hours total in the truck. And I know I could duplicate it in 2 weeks. It would be no problem.
So what?
Now that I've done
it for the audience, you're thinking it's just a regular, pun intended, run of the mill C20, C10, whatever. It doesn't matter. It is not, and you don't want to judge a book by the cover on this one. So your background, you're obviously mechanical. You work in, machinist. You program machines. You can just, I'm just going to build a sawmill this weekend. So you're mechanical. Your background, just learning OJT, growing up on a farm. What was your background?
We grew up in a rural area and, did farming, helped my grandfather look cows, hay, and all that sort of stuff. And basically worked myself to the bone helping him with square bells all these years. And then I turned 18 and I was like, I'm not going to help a whole lot anymore. I'm going to go to college and this and that. Well, then he goes and buys a round beller. I'm like, what? Anyways, my whole family helped out too as well. But, we did a lot of stuff at home with mom and dad. We grew up just not on a farm, just helping my grandfather with his.
You think you learned a lot, and that's where you kind of picked up the mechanical, or you were just naturally mechanical, and then you had the ability to apply it?
Yeah, with the natural mechanical came. My dad was a mechanic. He actually went to Nashville Auto Diesel College. Diesel mechanic, and I mean, like, he could do anything with vehicles, and I kind of just learned from him. And it was sort of weird growing up. I had like a F-150 when I was like 17, and I really wanted to put a lift on it. And he didn't like the idea. So me and my friend kind of secretly done it, but secretly was kind of stupid actually, because he was going to notice. that it was 6 inches.
Yeah,
35-inch
but
tire.
beg for forgiveness is sometimes easier than asking for permission. So you're like, well, let's just do it. Yeah, I know where your head's at on this one, Mikey.
So we actually ended up loving it. It was a horrible idea because the truck got crap fuel mileage to start with, and we just made it worse. But it was one of the funnest trucks I ever had. Like 300,000 mile inlines.
That's what you do when you're a kid. What year F-150?
89.
All right, so that's 89. Is that considered OBS or is that bull nose? No, that's brick nose, I think. On those.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be the brick nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's probably a cool truck. And lift it up. Are you talking like 6-inch lift? Are you thinking 35s or were you going 37s?
Well, I ended up with a 3-inch body lift and 6 inches of suspension, and I was running a 38 1550 Dixie Pack Fun Countries.
Yeah, you were having a good time.
Yeah, for the day, compared to what there is nowadays, it was kind of small, I guess. Very underpowered.
Did you say it had an inline 6?
Yeah, 5-speed and an inline 6.
I can't even imagine those gears that motor was working so hard to turn those big tires.
It very much was. And I drove it back and forth to college. I went to a community college, and I drove it back and forth to college for a while. And then I bought me a 5-liter Mustang, and I was going to get better fuel mileage in that thing, and then I ended up getting like 7 tickets in like 12 months, and my parents got canceled. So they was real happy with me. So I had to get my own insurance. So in 1995, I was paying almost $400 a month for insurance. And
that'll slow you down real quick. That'll get you to either sell the car or slow down or both.
Yeah, it's just I slowed down and sold the car, but it didn't really slow down that much, because I built a 331 stroker car after that. Sprayed the crap out of it. Traumatic TKO, cage, all the good stuff. Street car.
All right, so you obviously are wrenching a lot. You're not shy to get in there. For the audience, this truck again. So let's go TikTok before we drop the bomb on them on this truck. How the hell did you end up on TikTok? I don't see the Virginia country boy, as a TikToker. Now, did you grow up in Virginia? Are you from that area? That's kind of home. Yeah,
I grew up about 15 miles from where I currently live.
Okay. So you're not, are you on Facebook and Instagram or no? And then all of a sudden you're like, let's start a TikTok.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I don't do an Instagram. There's too many things going on. Like, Twitter, these things. I've got so much going on with like the business, normal daily stuff, family, that I've just never done very many of those. I just do like Facebook, which is actually horrible nowadays.
Yeah. I'm going to get you to get off Facebook and get on Instagram. Cause I think, it's funny when I found you on TikTok, somebody had sent me a TikTok. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is different. And then I went right to IG because we just do so much Instagram with the pod and Instagram have made life easy because it allows people to have that visual. Now they could jump over to TikTok just as easy, but so of course I'm looking at Sawdust and Blinker Fluid and I'm like, there's nobody on Instagram named Sawdust and Blinker Fluid. So we might have to have you lock that one down before Tuesday when this drops. But yeah, it's, Facebook's funny because Facebook's, some friend stuff. And then it gets to be politics and bullshit. And there's a lot of good groups that if you can get in a good group, I don't know how many Honda swapped C10 groups there are, but just to let the audience know a little bit of what we're going to talk about, but zero. But that's the nice thing about at least Instagram is it's pretty much picture, hey, that's cool or whatever. And you can block comments and so on and so forth. But yeah, I'm going to talk you into at least locking down the page, and we'll put one picture of the truck on there. Now, does the truck have a name?
Yeah, we call it Chucky.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm assuming after the movie.
Right. Because it is a bastard.
So how did you get on
More
TikTok?
like-
I mean, I don't just see you picking up TikTok. It's so popular with the kids. I was a little reserved. I started a little bit of a page. It's there, but it is cool. I will say that I think it's actually really cool. Some of the different features. It's one of,
I have a YouTube, also Sawdust and Blinker Fluid. Nothing. Well, there is some hints in there about the truck, but it's mainly sawmill stuff. And it's been kind of dormant for a while. I also do it on the YouTube that's totally irrelevant. But I started messing with TikTok. I mean, my wife taught me to download it because I was looking and I was like, well, I'm just going to start posting some of my stuff to help my YouTube channel. And then, when I started posting stuff about the truck, nobody cared. I mean, the video that went viral, I mean, there's 3 or 4 videos before that shows all of it. And it's kind of funny because nobody picked up on it, and TikTok algorithm decided to take off on this one. And, I didn't give any context on it. And I guess that's why it went viral. And there were so many questions. And most all of them were answered in other TikToks before.
Yeah.
I know.
It does seem like a lot of times there are plenty of answers to questions, just whether or not people take the time to dive in. And anymore, we're moving so fast that they usually don't, and they'll take their time to take your time to get the answer, but not take their time to get the answer.
You might hear something in the background there.
Oh, we got it. We got a truck. We got a truck ripping through.
Even better.
Okay.
1,000 horsepower.
I lost you. 1,000 horsepower something.
Fox body.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you had a Fox body, or you had a 5.0, assuming. What year was your Mustang?
91.
Okay. God, man, you got it going on. You went from a brick nose jacked up truck to a 91 Fox body. Knowing you was probably red, so no wonder you got 7 tickets. Or was it black? What color was it?
It was blue and silver, two-tone GT.
And you still wish you had it?
Do what?
You still wish you had it? I assume yes.
About a year ago, a friend of mine seen a post on Marketplace, and he's like, "Dude, that's your car." I had sold it years back when my son was born. He is 17 now. And I was like, I looked at it and I was like, that is my car. Holy crap. It has the cage and everything that I knew it because I had welded in the bars behind where you put the harnesses on. I welded them in a diagonal to X-brace. And anyways, I knew it was my car. So I ended up buying it. I have it back. It's on the back burner.
All right. So you did buy it when your buddy found it on Marketplace. You bought it about 17 years post selling it, whether it was the tickets or the son. Life changes. You buy it back. Now you got it.
Yep, we have it back.
Hell yeah.
Kind of just sitting dormant right now. My son wants to mess with it. And I told him, I was like, yeah, we can do it. It's probably going to be a LS swap.
Oh shit.
Probably.
Here we go.
I would do a Ford small block and turbo it because I've turboed things. I had a 78 Power Wagon, 318, 360 heads, mystery cam in it. I put a whole set H2E 64 millimeter turbo off a new model L10 Cummins on it, and 4-speed lifted, cool truck. I was making 12 pounds of boost, blow through carburetor. Anyway, I've turboed stuff. I had in our area, like in 2005. I held the track record up here at a local drag strip for my Cummins truck. You know, I had a Cummins that was like ridiculous. I built it all myself. I mean, it's not fast by today's terms, but it runs 770s an eighth mile at like 96, 98 miles an hour in 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
In 2005.
And that's a 12 valve or 24 valve?
The 12 valve is a 97 12 valve.
So P pump right before they switched over to the 24 valve. It's funny. I had the opportunity to be in a 96. No, this might probably been maybe a 98 because it was 24 valve. And the guy had a single cab long bed and you had to drive it in 4-wheel drive because you would just lose it if you didn't.
Right. That's why this one was. If you was doing a 2-wheel drive, I could be like in second. Is auto. I had a built auto from Garin Transmissions. I'm actually a dealer for Garin Transmissions, by the way. But you could be in second gear and get into the boost, torque converter locked, and it was just start skating the tires, second, third gear, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. I mean, it was a lot of fun. Very unsafe for young kids.
Yeah, or even, adults, but either way. So let's talk about this 68 C20. Before we talk about the internals, where'd you find the truck? How'd you come across this thing?
When you're looking for classic Chevy or GMC truck parts, brotherstrucks.com is your number one source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration parts. So whether you are restoring an original or looking to customize that classic truck, brotherstrucks.com has thousands of the highest quality truck parts for you to choose from. So head over to brotherstrucks.com and order your free catalog today. And don't forget to follow Brothers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates and special offers too.
Pro Performance has been your favorite parts supplier for almost 10 years, but we're not slowing down. We've stepped up our stocking orders to make sure we have more of what you want when you want it, ready to ship or pick up at the shop. Check with us first for top brands like React Suspension, Snowden Custom Seats, Vintage Air, and Willwood. Pro Performance is also your number one source for Dakota Digital, so whether you need a full kit or a few accessories, or just want to see the new RTX series, hit us up.
Since the 1960s, US Mags has held the title for the longest-running custom wheel tradition. Experience the wheels that made history and set the trends for American truck culture for decades to come. From cast wheels to full custom 1- and 2-piece forged wheels, US Mags keeps you and your truck in mind with every new design and model. Our cast wheel series are designed specifically for Chevy trucks and are stocked and ready to ship, giving you the wheels you need when you need them with perfect fitment. Set your ride apart with our custom forged wheels, available in just about any finish and fitment desired. US Mags are guaranteed to distinguish your style and attitude from the rest.
How'd you come across this thing?
All right, I'll come up this way. Well, the property where I bought my sawmill property, where I'm currently at, had a junkyard on it. And there's old square body front clip sitting there that was left over. Anyways, how I came across the chassis that it's sitting on is I daily drive a Honda back and forth to work. I needed a driver's side door for the car. So I found a car that they had hit a guardrail passenger side. And anyways, I bought the car for like $350, got the parts I needed off of the car, and it was just sitting there at the shop. We had parked it outside. We kind of run around the field, it had no doors on either side. I'd robbed a bunch of other parts. The car ran and drove great. So I was like, holy crap. I don't want to just let this car just be a field run around or pond jumper or whatever. So I was like, I wonder if that front clip would fit. And so I went out there and measured on it, and it would totally fit. I didn't set it on there. So it kind of got me to thinking. I had watched some videos. One of my favorite YouTube guys, Nathan's Garage. He actually done a F100 swap onto a Crown Vic. Oh, like 12 years ago. He's like the OG. of the swaps for the Crown Vic, pretty sure. So I was like, I wonder if I could do that with that car that I had. So I went looking for a vehicle, and I found this one. This is the truck. It was terrible. I went down and looked at it, and all the door buttons was pushed in, glass was busted out, all the windows was busted out except the back glass, and the passenger window was still there. Yeah. No floorboards, fenders gone. It was clapped, and I left. But the dude called me back. I was like 15 minutes up the road. He's like, if you come back, we settle on a little bit lower price. He's like, literally, it is going to scrap tomorrow. He's like, if you come back, he's like, I can guarantee you a title. He was a dealer.
Oh, I lost you. I lost your photo. That's fine. Still there? There we go.
I had a phone.
Okay. So he was a dealer. Now he had it posted up on Facebook, Craigslist. He had it for sale, or
on Craigslist. Yeah, he had it on Craigslist, and I think he wanted $500 for it. And I can't remember if I paid $350 or $400 for it, but he said he would guarantee me a title. And I was like, if you do that, I'll pay for your troubles of doing that. And it took him about 3 months, and he did actually get me a title to the old truck. And so yeah, of course I went back and got it, because I was like, I didn't want to see this one die. I was like, I'll do something with it. And that's how it started. So we started putting parts on the other the other chassis.
So one of the things I need to start doing is I interview people from all over the country. In Virginia, what's the word on a title? Like, you're like, hey, I needed a title. Some states on something that's that old now, it's almost like a bill of sale. And did you need a VIN matching title, or how's it work in Virginia?
Yeah, you have to have a VIN matching title. So, the truck, it actually had the VIN. I think he knew the people that had the truck or something, but where he's a dealer, he could go back and look and go like to the dealer reassessment, like, way to get it. Because I think that there was an actual title, but it had been signed by someone but never transferred. And he sent me all the documents. He mailed the whole entire packet. All I had to do, he had it marked out where I signed, because he was North Carolina, I'm Virginia. And I just signed here and there, went up to the DMV, and they handed me a title in my name.
Cool. That's all you needed. So
at that point,
yeah,
it where we kind of like fast forwarded it. We started really messing with it,
So you have this Honda, and this Honda, I remember seeing the picture on TikTok. I don't even know, 95, little Accord or Civic, or what is it? It's a little Civic, right? Little two-door Civic or something like that.
Yeah. It's a 2006.
Okay.
Civic. Yeah.
Civic. And what motor's in a 2006 Civic?
It's got the R. This one is just the LX. It's got the little, I think it's 140 horsepower. R18 1A. It's a 1.8 liter. It's automatic. I hate that part of it, but it was just an experiment that turned into this.
Turned into Chucky.
So, yeah. And here's the key.
Yeah, it's a Honda. It's definitely a Honda.
It's never. And I'm actually going to set up remote start and a couple other things that I want to do to it to make it even more kind of neat.
So
But
walk us
because
through this. How did you, so you're like, so this, a little bit earlier, you had talked about the square body front clip. Obviously that was just, that doesn't end up being any part of Chucky. That was just showing you that you could wrap a Civic, an '06 Civic, with Chevy C10, C20 parts that would fit inside there. Is that what that did?
Yeah, I started researching at that point, wheelbases and track widths, and varied between the two. And the track widths are similar, minus about 4 to 5 inches. So the Civic is narrower, but like 4 inches or so, 5, I think. So I was like, well, I know I had to get spacers to space the wheels out. The wheelbase is shorter than a short bed by about 9 inches, I think. But the way I did the bed, I kind of fudged it a little bit in the front and a little bit in the back to make it not look stupid, but to still get plenty of bed space. And the bed's actually only 7 inches shorter than a short bed truck, but I have less area in the front of the bed or wheel well as opposed to the back. So I had to cut out, pieces in the front and the rear, which is pretty common from a long bed to short bed conversion.
It's almost the same wheelbase as a Blazer. So that year a Blazer, I think, is 105. It might be 104, but I think it's 105. And I think a shorty is like 113. I'd have to look. And then a long bed's like 127, but no, not 127. Yeah. Trying to think of how many little build sheets I've looked at, but yeah. So it sounds like a Civic, '06 Civic might be the same wheelbase as a Blazer, as a K5. That'd be kind of funny.
It probably would have worked.
Did you struggle with figuring out how to get the bed? So let's start at the front. So you decide. First of all, it's fun, right? You're just like, it's fun. Let's see what happens. I've got this car here for nothing. I've already salvaged the parts I need. This thing's going to the wrecker tomorrow. I buy it cheap. I get a title. Now, do you start skinning a Civic and then putting, and then how? Okay. So you skin the Civic. And then and I haven't checked the YouTube, so I don't know if it's on there, but so you skin this Civic, and then what? You start building mounting points so that you can mount C10 hardware and metal around it?
Yeah, basically, the 2 points I needed to go by is the center line of the front tire to like where the cab located. So the cab is always first. So I knew the distance between, say, the door's all dented crap, but I basically knew a distance. I used the passenger side because it's not dented, it's bad. But where to mount the cab. And I do have a forklift inside my shop, so it was easy to take the cab off and on. So there basically was no floor in the cab. I mean, there was some pieces. So I cut the entire floor out of the cab, took the doors off, put some angle iron in there to keep the spacing of the bottom so it wouldn't flex in or out. So I wanted my doors to close normally. Now I had no floor, and I cut the entire firewall out. Backpedaling here, though, actually. We cut every piece of metal we could cut off of the car, because it's a whole entire chassis from the radiator to the tailpipe is completely stock Honda. I mean, from front to rear. I wanted it that way because I wanted to drive it a lot. Anyways, that was a lot. It took a lot of Sawzall blades and cut off discs, by the way. That was probably the most work. Anyways, the cab, getting it positioned correctly and periodically setting the front clip on to get it to set about the height that I wanted was kind of an obstacle. But like I said, the forklift made it pretty dang easy. Off, on, you know.
So did you have to do the firewall? I know you said you did. Did you have to cut the whole firewall out, or could you have started low and then, you know, taken 6 inches, and then worked your way up? Or no, this is how we had to do it?
Well, I had measured, and the Honda firewall was going to be pretty close, within, like, say, this much of the Chevrolet firewall. So I just opted to just cut out all of the firewall, leaving the structural integrity of the cab from the top part where it's rolled, the lip. And because, you know, the firewall is the Honda firewall now.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
So for the audience, he visually, video-wise, he went about, I don't know, 5 inches, you said. So the difference of a Honda Civic firewall is 6 inches shorter than the C10 deck height, right? Where the cowl would be.
Right. Somewhere in that area, you know. I mean, they were nowhere close, because the Honda one was kind of like this,
mm-hmm.
and the Chevrolet like this. You know, there's quite a, you know, once I started putting it together, there's a lot of things that's kind of just worked like really well. The way the cab set, like when I put the front clip on, because the front clip is actually all one piece. There's like 8 bolts, and the whole front clip can come off. You know, well, the bumper is welded on. We'd have to cut that off, but
so do you have, you have the core support, the fenders, the bumper, you have that all one piece, but the hood works just fine. Obviously I've seen you open it on TikTok.
Yeah, it's actually got door hinges on it. It's not going to reveal a ton, but
he's opening the hood right now. There he goes. Okay. So one thing that I can see from now, you know, and I remember just kind of seeing some of that inner bracing, but obviously it's your motor compartment isn't as deep, isn't the depth of it. So when you talk about the firewall, not only is it lower on the C10 or on the Honda, it's a little bit, I don't know, what would you say? Would you say that that's about 12 inches further towards the front of, yeah, it's just crazy, dude. That thing is so crazy when you consider opening the hood of a C20, C10. It's been converted because he's running 5 or 6. Like, I guess shit, it's probably, I don't know if that's a Honda bolt pattern you're running now or what you're running, but it is so crazy to see you open that hood. Now, you said it was door hinges, like as in Chevy truck door hinges that you've welded?
Well, just regular door hinges.
Oh, they're just hinges. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you cut up into the Honda part. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Oh, I like I like your hood prop. Speaking of a guy who's got a lot of wood laying around, he's got a little mop handle. It looks like, I don't know. And then there it is. There's the Honda wrapped in C10 68 C20 metal, saved from the crusher, because, you know, there's going to be a lot of flack. And then the intercooler, or not the intercooler, the condenser. You've got you know, all your AC stuff and your core support. It just fits perfect right there.
Right. And I mean, that was one of the main things. I wanted to keep everything as stock as possible. You know, I wanted to have air. Heat was easy because, you know, it already had heat. You know, here's a fun fact. When I blocked off the defrost on, actually it was the vent on the Honda, when I hit to your face, blowing out the vents, it actually blows out the defrost now out of the factory holes. So I have.
Okay, so hold on. So on the Honda controls, when you hit defrost, which is going to be for the window, because it's a little bit lower, it blows out into your face.
Well, no, it actually, the defrost I don't use.
Okay.
The vent setting blows out the defrost holes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Like really close, and it actually defrosts the windshield pretty easily.
Well, that now you don't have to use the defrost. Okay. I like the gapping that I can see from the inner unibody structure of the Honda and then into what would be the C10 fender. He's got shit. You almost need an inner fender there, but you've got 3 or 4 inches
really
there.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. Is this something you would do again? Would you do this more if you could, or is this like, no, this was just for fun? Cause I could see where you've got this down where you could whip these things out. People are like, oh, I want a C10, but I want it to get better fuel mileage.
If I did it again, it probably wouldn't be with a Honda. Like I said, I just had the car, so I was like, it just kind of happened. But anyways, one thing I have found, if a person was going to try something like this, get something convertible, because like the unibody of these cars requires the roof to be structural. And now there's a 68 Chevrolet roof as a structural on a car, which that's getting cured here soon. I'm putting a 10-point cage in it, going plumb to the back and tying into the strut towers, I guess you'd call them in the back. I guess it's struts back there.
Well, I get it. I like that. I like the fun fact. That's a great way to put it. Is like, think about how the integrity of that car is, it needs that. So as a firefighter who cuts up cars for a living, once you start cutting A posts, B posts, and C posts, then that whole integrity of that structure is affected. So obviously you're going to look to continue to brace that. What were you noticing as you were cutting the car up? Was it starting to tweak and torque, and how did you reinforce it to the point where you have it now? Because you're driving it.
So you bought a C10 and it either had AC at one time or it wasn't even an option. Well, Vintage Air has the solution for you. Their SureFit kits are designed to place the evaporator and hoses behind the dash for a factory clean look. In most cases, the SureFit systems will be controlled by your stock dash controls using their exclusive cable converters. The Gen 4 kit provides infinite, just right temperature, air blending, and blower fan speed adjustments. The Vintage Air SureFit kits are the best value and the most completely engineered air conditioning system you can install in your C10. Add the fact that Vintage Air has been the most respected name in performance aftermarket climate control systems for 40 years. 40 years? Damn, son. The choice is obvious. VintageAir.com. C10 Nation, what's stopping you? Well, CPP has you covered. They offer multiple different options to make the disc brake conversion as easy as possible on both you and your wallet. From stock height conversions to their Big Brake Grand Slam kit. How's your altitude? You need to get a little lower? CPP has you covered there too. They offer a wide variety of drop kits for you to choose from. Head over to ClassicPerform.com, that's ClassicPerform.com, to save big today. You've heard me talk about my gauges, Dakota Digital. I love them. Don't forget the interior of your build. Dakota Digital has the best gauges for our trucks, whether you want a direct fit into the stock bezel or something custom. These kits are complete with sensors for any engine. The new RTX series is really incredible. I think it stands for retro, but it should stand for rad. They look just like the stock clusters, but have all the technology you'd expect from Dakota Digital. You can change the lighting colors, customize the reading in the message centers, and do it all from the mobile app. That's right, the HDX and RTX series have Bluetooth technology, so you can mess with them from your phone. Just don't do it while you're driving. I'm looking at RPM, trip odometer, percent fuel, oil pressure, and now I have the GPS set up. I can tell you direction, elevation, and even outside temp. Damn, son, it's like a modern truck, but even better in a classic. Dakota Digital is absolutely the best in aftermarket gauges, so check them out at dakotadigital.com. dakotadigital.com. And you can follow them on Instagram and Facebook too.
And how did you reinforce it to the point where you have it now? Because you're driving it.
Well, it was just basically a concern. I wasn't really thinking that it was going to hurt anything, but my thoughts was like, if I was going down a hill and there's like a big clump down at the bottom of a hill and you swag up, I feel like there would be some chassis flex in that, and then this is becoming the upper part at that point. I thought it was going to be more of a problem than it is, and it's actually not bad. I've been checking and stuff, and it hasn't flexed that I know of. I don't see anything weird or bent or broke welds or anything. Hey, you're talking about fun facts. Here's another one.
I'm going to have to come up with a little jingle every time you say fun fact. I like this. Fun fact with Mikey.
The radio holes area that was in these trucks actually is within about a 1/4 inch of the size of a Honda heater control. And it actually looks like a heater or a radio.
Yeah, it does. It literally, the knobs. So for the audience, again, I'll have to get a picture of this and snap a screenshot. But he's got. I love how you have the whole gauge clusters where the old radio ashtray and everything, because you've got the radio where the ashtray would be, and then you've got the instrument cluster, the gauges where the radio would be. And the radio is where the AC would be, actually. So AC down low, then ashtray, then radio. Yeah. Either way, you've got your little data center there. Now, what about a little console? It looks like you've got your cigarette lighter. I do remember seeing you flip that open, and then your automatic, and oh my God. So how about floorboard? What did you end up putting in there?
Well, it's just the factory
Honda.
I haven't got.
How much space is when you're on your rocker, if you will? So there's no Chevy C10 rocker. How much space is between when you close the door and the unibody style rocker floorboard of the Honda? Right there, where you get it, and when you open the door, what's there?
Well, I've got the rockers. I've ordered new ones. I haven't welded them in yet. That's because that's going to be a huge chore to make them mate between the two. But I'll show you the passenger side. It's not terrible.
Oh yeah, it's not. It actually. Wow. I mean, would you say that is that a 1/4 of an inch or less?
Yeah, probably 1/4 to 1/2 inch, maybe.
Yeah. It's.
It made it up pretty close.
Hell, some trucks from Virginia probably already have that just from Mother Nature. A little rust, some old rotted out rockers, and then some floorboards that are just gone anyway. So that's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable that you were able to morph that whole thing together. Doors are open and closing just fine. You feel pretty good about that?
Yeah, the driver's door is terrible. Because like this upper hinge is rusted right here pretty bad. So it lifts up. I have to do the whole lift and close.
Sure. Got a little sag to her. That's all right. I mean, hell, that's a lot of trucks. I mean, that's a 50-some-year-old hinge, or could be. And I'll give you something else to do. Add that to your list, and new door hinges.
Now the passenger side, it was fine.
Yeah,
close is fine.
That would be pretty remarkable. Like if you take a stock rocker, C10 rocker, and then you cut it and then shape it and morph it to that. Obviously, that Civic. That's gonna be pretty bitchin'. And then seal the damn thing up. And then, the driver's door got used, I don't know, let's say 1,000% more than the passenger on this truck. And so no wonder that thing's just shot, right?
Right. And here's the bed. Of course, this is all wood I've milled.
Yeah, imagine that he's got a nice custom wood bed, and then those fenders are, you don't see wood box inner rear fender tubs. So kind of cool, very cool actually. I mean, that you did it. You took some wood, and you said that people give you a lot of shit. I mean, they give you they don't give you shit to your face. I assume it's just on TikTok or different formats, or people talking crap, because you literally, this is your time. How fun, something different, and you're getting better fuel mileage, and you did it all yourself. So they can all eat a dick, I guess. But that's pretty funny.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to show you this right here. Let me get the key.
All right, this might not be a fun fact, but I'm excited about it. Now that tailgate has seen better days, Mikey. That thing is crooked as a politician on election day.
It's the only thing that worked on the truck.
The tailgate. Yep, there you go.
So,
yeah.
I mean, and I haul stuff in it all the time. Here's another, this is a fun fact.
Fun fact with Mikey. Dun-dun-dun.
Needed access to various things on the Honda and fuel pump, wiring and whatnot. So, trap door.
Wow. So he's got literally in between the rear tubs, he's got like a lift door where he's got access to the fuel tank is buried in there, right? And then you've got your spare tire, just like it was a trunk.
Right.
And where's your fill? Where's your fill neck? Where'd you put that at?
See the seat belts?
Yeah, the old backseat seat belts are still there, just in case he decides to change it back. Or maybe you could do a Subaru Brat back seat or something. But yeah, that's awesome, dude. So yeah, where do you end up filling it?
Well, I guess you've probably seen that it's gone.
Yeah, that the C10 one is, but I figured you probably have a Civic one somewhere buried in the back.
Yeah, it takes these.
Oh, okay. I get it. So he's got a little toolbox that he's secured on top of one of the rear fenders, inner fenders. And when he opens that toolbox, voila, another fun fact. He's got a filler neck right there. All right. We're going to definitely post that video up. All right. One of my biggest questions. I like that. I like your style. Looks good. Hey, and not only that, now you have to secure your fuel so somebody can't siphon your fuel. I don't know how what fuel cost is in Virginia, but people are getting crazy with fuel out here. How about airbag stuff? Did you just DC all that stuff?
Yeah, axed all that stuff. It was going to be too much to try and like add in to it. And then you got legality issues. Like if I was to sell the truck and it had a functioning Civic airbag that didn't function, imagine the lawsuit. So it's all disabled. Everything is.
Yeah. I mean, what's it say? We die like real men, no airbags or something like that. There's a bumper sticker like that somewhere. We die like real men, but they didn't have it before. They're not going to have it now. So, I mean, it makes sense. Hell, you could sell those damn airbags. I don't know what the going price of an 06 Honda Civic airbag is, but they tend to be worth money. So now let's go back to your bolt pattern. So you have an adapter. You said that it was narrower by, 5 inches. So you've got a spacer. It looks legit. Are you adapting not only out widthwise, but are you adapting to a truck wheel?
Well, these are, I found these on Marketplace. They was supposedly new model Mustang wheels, the 5x4.5, what is that? The 117.4 or whatever. Bolt pattern anyways, I went and picked up the wheels and tires. A lot of people don't believe me. The front tires was new. The wheels would look exactly like they did when I got them. The rear wheels had no tires. I give $140 to a man in West Virginia for the wheels and tires at a shop. It wasn't like just some janky place. And he told me there was Mustang pattern. And well, I got the 2-inch spacers, which the Honda has the Mustang pattern, the 5x4.5s. And the wheels went on, but I was like, dang, they don't fit right. And started doing some measuring, and turns out they're 5x4 3/4 Chevrolet pattern, because these are Cadillac CTS-V wheels. I'll get down here a little bit so you can see that.
Yeah, so that's like a little S10, I think. I think I lost him there. He might have hit a button. He was moving, but that's an S10, right? A car is going to be your 5 on 4 3/4, 4.75, whereas our trucks are 5 on 5. Let's see if we get him back here. He might have to come back into the meeting. I got a feeling he'll text me and be like, shit, how do we get back in? What a cool car. I mean, dude, don't get me wrong. We all love our C10s, but I'll bring it up to him. My math is this dude's got less than $1,000 in this thing so far. And he's got a little Honda Civic. Here he is. Yeah, he's back here. Let's go. Let's see if we can get you back here, Mikey. He's trying. Nah. We got you back. All right, yeah, we got you back. So you were about ready to show us that you thought it was 5 on 4.5, but it ends up being Cadillac CTX, so it's 5 on 4 3/4, and you've got it mounted up there.
Yeah, it's the Honda pattern back here, and then I found these on eBay. They went to the 5 by 4.5 to 5 by 4 3/4.
So you had new spacers, 2-inch spacers that you originally just had straight 5 to 4.5, and now you have not only an adapter spacer, but you still get your 2 inches per side. And that's a lot, right? You don't want to go any more than that.
Right. It's actually, when I had originally done it was 2-inch spacers, and when I went to the adapter spacers, the only ones I could find was 1.25 inches or maybe 1.5 inches. So I'm about 3 inches wider on track width than factory on the Honda, which actually puts it pretty dang close to right. I feel like
it lets it tuck. I mean, I literally saw comments where people are like, "Hey, what suspension are you running? I want my truck to sit like yours." And you're going to say, "Fun fact, it's the 06 Honda Civic." It's What? How about the rear? Same. Did you do the same spacers in the rear?
Yeah. And like I said, they didn't have any tires on them. When I got them, I assumed that it was the same wheel. All right. It was the same wheel, but this was a staggered set. The fronts are 20 by 8s and the rears are 20 by 9s. So I went to the rears and it bowled the tires out. My friend's like, good Lord, those tires was hard to get on those wheels. But anyways, it works fine. But when I do it again, when I get new tires, I'm going to have to get some wider ones for the back, weirdly enough, because it's front wheel drive.
Yeah. And then what series tire is that, man? There is not much left on that tire. Is it 35 or less?
Yeah. 255, 35.
Yeah. There's nothing there. That's just a little rubber band for that. You could put a lot more meat on there.
Yeah. I don't really want to go much larger diameter though, because this thing had 16-inch wheels from the factory, the car. And I'd done a little bit of research, and these tires are actually 2.5 inches taller than my factory wheels, which kills my gear ratio. Which weirdly enough, it makes the Honda slower than it actually was. It was never meant to be fast by any means, but
sure,
it does.
So one thing when we lost you on connection, I was just thinking, so you get the truck for, let's just say $350. You get the Honda. I thought you might have even said $500. You needed some part. I'm going to say you got the Honda for $500, but you made money or you used parts off of it, so you were happy there. You got the truck for $350. It's getting scrapped, so we're still under $1,000. You get the tires. I think you said you get the wheels with the tires with the wheels. So right at a $150 there. I mean, we're at $1,000 for this thing. Like, you got $1,000 in this truck right now. And a shitload of time. You said 80 hours. Was that 80 hours times 2, or was that 40 hours times 2? You and your son?
Well, he helped me a good bit. So I guess the ×2 might be in effect there. So probably not the whole entire time. So he's pretty busy with school and sports and whatnot.
But you don't have much more than $2,500 in this thing. Now, your time is your time, but I mean, you're not more than $2,000. I mean, that wood in the back might be worth more. I don't even know. But yeah, you've got the wood. I'm sure there's all kinds of metal and grinding and different things to make things, again, in your time. But yeah, you're rolling this little Chucky truck around, and then wiring. You just had to do what? A bunch of cutting and splicing and making sure headlights were going to headlights and taillights were going to taillights.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. I guess you might have seen her. You know, I did the LEDs.
Yeah, why wouldn't
and
you?
Those, yeah, they're like $50 on eBay. And neat thing about those, when you order them for these C10s, you guys probably already know this, but the new Jeeps use the same headlight bulb. And so when you order them, and these was like $50 shipped, and they came with the old style harness that would plug into the C10, or you unplugged it and it would plug right into a new model Jeep. Anyways, I just wired them right into the Honda. You know,
Mikey, you are slipping. That's a fun fact. We needed to cue that up. Fun fact. You can get these on Amazon or eBay. These are CJ, Jeep, whatever, or JK LEDs made in China. And this is Mikey's fourth, I think, maybe fifth fun fact. But yeah, those things look bitching on there. And now the bucket is the bucket on the not on the seat, the bucket on your light. Is it a little narrower? Are those a little narrower, or were they same diameter as your old C10 lights?
Well,
they look a little smaller.
But like,
I lost you there for a second. They're a little smaller.
Yeah, they're a little smaller because I don't have the interior bucket, because like, I guess the inner radiator support housed that. I didn't have that.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So it's actually just got wood.
All right. Of course you do, man. So he's got wood buckets. But yeah, I wonder if those are the same diameter. Yeah, that's fun fact. I've got wood buckets, but it works. It looks cool. It gives it a little bit of a depth, a little bit of a 3D look to it. So that's pretty cool.
So yeah, they fit in. And the other thing too is I done away with the little meep porn that Hondas have. Meep. Because I've done nothing on the exterior to make it look like I
almost thought you said me porn. I was glad that you said the beep horn.
Yeah, beep horn.
Beep horn.
So it's actually, I put a real horn on it, so it actually goes honk honk like the truck would. I didn't want anything on the exterior to indicate, hey, it's a Honda, because I don't need somebody to stroke out on me at a gas station when I open the hood, you know. Which hasn't been an issue. Everybody that's seen it in person at gas stations and everything just loves it. And my response to is, what's in it? I'm like, it's just a stock inline, which is not a lie.
It's not.
So
yeah, they might think it's a 235, a 250, or a 292, but it's a 1.8 dual overhead cam. Yeah, I don't know my Honda, so that's.
I believe it's single overhead.
Single, okay.
I'm not 100.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure.
And now, how many miles? Refresh my memory. I think you said like less than 150,000 on it.
The Honda has 212,000 miles on it.
Okay. All right.
The whole chassis.
And then, so what's the furthest you've driven it?
Probably like 250 miles in one drive, there and back. You know, and that was like just a little over 10 gallons fuel.
Now, seat wise, did you use the Honda buckets?
Yeah, they're actually the Honda seats. it made the most sense because they bolt right in. And we want to do some a bench seat. But I liked it because, you have your little full console.
Look at how much room you have behind those seats. You have a lot of room for a lot of stuff back there.
I've had quite a few of these older trucks and stuff, and there's not a ton of room inside there. And usually the windshield is like in your gut almost. A windshield. The steering wheel is right up in you. And I stretch out. I got 1 foot up on the dead pedal, and oh man, it's great.
If you could do one thing different, so this whole process, what's something where you guys said, hey, this is probably where we made a mistake, or if we were to do this different, I would definitely do this. Besides getting a convertible, what would you do? What's something you might do different?
Definitely a manual transmission. It really would help because the old girl's not aerodynamic at all. And with a making of a five speed, you could like anticipate hills and go up and better because it does labor the engine way more than it did in the car.
Yeah,
but it does fine.
I wonder what the weight is. The difference of the old sheet metal over that modern 06 unibody style. I wonder how much weight you've added.
Fun fact.
Okay. I got to get a jingle. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. That's the only jingle I got, my ESPN jingle real quick. Fun fact with Mikey.
The car with me in it weighs a little over 3,100 pounds. And me in this truck, now I have my impact and like some tools and a bunch of stuff. I weigh 3,240 with me in it. So I'm about 120 pounds heavier than the car. So not bad. I was actually expecting it to be lighter. And it's actually getting ready to be heavier because I don't know how much a 10-point roll cage weighs, but I would assume about 150.
So you thought it was going to be lighter with the C10 then because you cut off so much of the excess with the car?
Exactly. Because me and my son, we could go around behind to the rear bumper and we could literally pick the back end off the ground, the car. Just pick it up, just drop it and it would bounce. It was so light. And then any of the heavy stuff, these hinges, that was on the old trucks that held the hood up. I mean, shoot, the hinges probably weigh 20, 30 pounds a piece.
Sure.
They don't
hinges,
exist anymore.
Inner fenders. Now battery tray, you got rid of that and you're using the Honda battery tray. Obviously, all that stayed the same. HVAC. How about working on it? How about mechanically getting under it? Is it same? You're like, yeah, it feels like I'm working on a Honda. I just have to move my jack in a little bit further and go to a unibody style jack and lift her up.
Yeah, it's got the little lift points, behind and in front of the rear and front tires. So you can jack it right up. I usually use the forklift, which is way easier, but
hey, fun fact, how funny would this be when you go to AutoZone and you're ordering parts and you're telling the guy, because they'll spin their heads just to whether or not it's a 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive. They can't even handle it. 454 or 350. Fun fact, I've got a 06 Honda and they're like, oh, that must be your wife's car. Nope, it's for the truck.
Yeah.
They shit their pants.
I've went to the parts store and I've thought about being a little bit mischievous like that, and I didn't. But I didn't want to confuse them.
Have you tried to make it sound any better? Like not better, I guess. Any throatier, any meaner, any more aggressive, or you almost love that it sounds like a Honda?
I want it so quiet that everybody comments like whenever I take off or anything that it's so quiet. I love that part because I didn't want it loud, I definitely do not want the fart can noise.
Fart can. Yeah, I guess that's I don't know that I've ever heard it called fart can, but I do see the little tuner cars run up and down, and they do get a little fart can now and then. So have you taken it out to a truck show or anything where there's car or truck people and let them see it besides what you see on the TikTok?
Not, I haven't yet. We're planning on it pretty soon. I want to do a few more things before I do, when I present it. I don't want it to be like, oh my God, you hack job this, which I did. I want it to be like a classy hack job, ish. Anyways, but we haven't been to any yet. It's been in 2 parades though. Christmas parade and last 4th of July. Because last 4th of July is when I officially tagged it and was driving it.
We call that middle class fancy, just so you know.
Middle class fancy.
Yeah, fun fact. So you're gonna clean it up. You're gonna put the 10-point roll cage in, maybe the rockers if you have time, and yeah, I mean, by the looks of it, you could, if a guy really wanted to do it, the C10s are so damn valuable that you probably wouldn't do this, but yeah, you could redo the interior and have it all fancy smancy and yeah, you could do a lot of really cool things with this thing. So you've got yourself this truck. It's Chucky. What do you is this something you're going to hold on to? You're going to sell? You're going to keep forever? You're going to run it into the ground and you'll be on to the next project?
I mean, I plan to continually daily it, to work. It's a 68 Chevy. It's awesome to drive every day. Man, everybody that you pass is just breaking their neck just to look at it. It's a pretty neat feeling. I have really no plans to get rid of it, but I have a lot of people interested in it. Some pretty legit offers on it. And I'm not one to hang on to stuff forever, especially when we could make a crap ton of money on it.
Yeah, you're into it cheap. Would you paint it, or do you kind of like? I like that it's the way that it is. It's all rusty and crusty.
It looks to me like someone actually was going to paint it at some point and then just give up. And I like it. I'm actually going to do there's a guy on TikTok, Poppy's Patina. I think I'm going to use his product. And it puts like a semi-gloss coating over this to kind of preserve it. And I like the looks of it. So I think I'm going to go that route.
All right. That'd be cool. Okay. So I asked you how far you've went. How fast have you went?
The fastest I've had it since the conversion has been right at 90.
How did it do? Shaking?
That's pretty much all it had. It wasn't really shaking. It drives perfectly fine like a car. I mean, as you can imagine, it drives like a newish car. It wasn't bad. When I get on the interstate, my speedometer's off by about 5 miles an hour in a bad way. Like when it says 72, I'm actually doing 77. So I usually set my cruise about 72 or 3. And it's normally doing between 74 and 78 miles an hour on the interstate, and which is about half my commute. So it's commonly seen pretty high speeds. I'm pretty sure that's the fastest this truck's ever seen in its life.
What kind of RPM are you tacking along? I assume it really like.
Yeah, it does. Where it's the automatic, it doesn't it's 5-speed automatic. It doesn't like overdrive. Down hills, it'll kick into it, and it's about 2,000 RPMs at that speed. But anytime you get any resistance, it goes to 4th gear, which is about 3,000. It jumps between 3,000 and like 4,400 RPMs, pretty regular.
Oh, wow.
On the interstate.
What about your shocks? I mean, is that something you've looked at upgrading because of the, just the weight and the handling and the width, or you're like, hey, it's running and handles fine?
Yeah, it is what it is. I've thought about it for some handling purposes, but I mean, the handling's pretty dang good anyways. I probably won't spend that much. Nah, the roll cage for cool and safety and getting the rockers put in and more things buttoned up is more important to me than that.
And in all your free time.
Yeah, in all my free time.
Now, I saw you guys also, one of the videos is probably your son, but you guys are working on an old square body service bed truck too?
Yeah. It's a 88 square body. It's a 3/4 ton. It was a service body.
Yeah. So for the audience, realize 88. Now they went to the OBS. Sorry, I interrupt you there, but 88 is going to be still a square body up until 91. So that's
and we bought that truck off the neighbor up the road from where my sawmill is for like $1,200. And the cab and front end, no rust. Nice, actually. Kind of dented up, but pretty cool truck. $1,200. It's got a TBI 350 and a TH 400, 14-bolt rear. Shoot, $1,200 all day long, man. So we sold the bed for like $200. We were planning. We've kind of sidelined that at the moment. I put a GT45 turbo and swap it to carb and do a blow through on it, just to teach my son a little bit about, messing with vehicles.
Yeah, and turbo in it. Why not?
It's all about them choo-choo noises.
Have you thought about putting a turbo or messing with the truck with Chucky at all?
I have, but I really don't think I'm going to, because of I just don't want to kill any of the reliability of it. Because just as soon as I do, and I'll mash on it like pretty regular, I'll start busting an oil line, a blowhead gasket, something, cinder rod. And I just don't want that. I want to drive it to work.
Yeah, then you're into a whole nother ball game of, well, what am I going to do with this thing? I think you said the owner that you got it from, I don't know if he was in North Carolina or just the title, the guy, the sales guy, the car. How funny would it be to roll into his shop, and roll in with Chucky, and he'd be like, what the hell did you do to this thing?
You'll probably see that upcoming on TikTok, because I was actually planning on going down to see him before long and just like doing a little video, me pulling up and him talking. He knows all about the project and has seen it because we're friends on Facebook, but like he hasn't seen it in person. But it looks very similar but very different, than it did before.
So if I said, here's $1,000, do whatever you want, but you got to do it on the truck, what are you doing?
I mean, other than the cage.
Yeah, because you're already doing that.
$1,000.
$1,000.
Manual swap it.
Oh yeah, I could see that. You don't like that automatic.
No, I really don't like it.
So the key is to find yourself an 06 Civic convertible manual. I don't even know if they make a convertible.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't even make a Civic convertible.
But whatever you find is you're wanting it to be a convert. What's a little car? I'm trying to think of a little car that's a convertible. Obviously, there's Mercedes and BMWs and Crossfires, and I'm trying to think of some other little Miatas. That's way too small, though. I don't know. I don't know what a wheelbase of a Miata. I feel like a Miata is a lot smaller than a little Civic, but I'm sure they're out there. Maybe like a Lexus. Some little Lexus convertible would be a Toyota version of, and then what was that other, was it a Sebring? That was like a Dodge car that was a convertible that's pretty popular. And then there was a Toyota as well that had a convertible, maybe a Camry. I'm not sure but maybe they made a Lexus version, but I don't know. There for the audience, if you're out there, you come across some low mile car and get a convertible and, half these guys probably have parts and parts and parts that they just have some old long bed that's beat up or some different parts. It's like, hey, have fun. I mean, it sounds like it was a complete, it was something fun for you and your son to do.
Oh yeah. We've had a ball with it the whole entire time. And that's been the whole premise, is to just have fun with it.
You gonna fire that thing up?
Oh yeah. You want to?
Yeah. Fire it up. You want to? He fired it up. It's funny because it's not like we're going to hear a big old deep throated cam. It doesn't sound like it's running.
Can you hear it?
No, I can't hear it at all. That's crazy.
Hold on, I'll rev it up. I would up here, but it's dry by wire.
I hear it a little bit now. He's got the phone probably a good 8 foot from. Oh. Yeah, we got a little delay too with the recording. Chucky, what people will do. It's crazy. So I don't think I did ask you, Mikey, what is your fuel mileage?
It's been getting about 23.
All right. I would have thought you would have done a little bit better, maybe because of the weight and the gearing and whatnot.
Tires, the aerodynamics probably kills it. Now, I think a lot of that has to do with interstate, because like on 55 miles an hour roads, it really likes that area. If I was to take like a long trip on 55 mile an hour roads, I feel like you would see 25, 26 pretty easily. Because it's not struck at all at those.
Yeah. Once you get in to that 65, 70, it starts really kicking its ass. Yeah.
Yeah. Because of gear. Because if I could lock out fifth gear and keep it in fourth on the interstate, it would pick up. I know it would.
Yeah. Could you put Could you put a lock on it? I don't know enough about those cars.
I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but you probably can. But
yeah, you probably do anything on that thing. Hell, you put wrap the C10 around it, you could do anything to it. All right. Well, I'm gonna try like hell to get you to get over to the Instagram there. I'm gonna send my audience over to TikTok. Of course, I'll be posting some of this stuff. Anything else to share about the truck and the project?
One more fun fact.
Fun fact. Here we go. Maybe I was thinking I might change it up to Mario Brothers. Bump, 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 bump. Mikey's fun facts.
The rear of the cab is actually mounted in. These cars have side impact bolsters. Like if a vehicle hits them in the side, it actually has a huge piece of angle that's rolled material that it spins out the vehicle instead of like crunching in. The rear impact bolsters is the back of the cab now. It fits so perfectly on them that I got 3-inch by 3-inch by 1/2-inch thick angle iron all the way across the back of the cab, mounted into the side impact bolsters. I've had people ask me if it's mounted in good. It is. I mean, it's got like 14 millimeter, freaking big as my thumb, bolts that hold it in. So it's pretty neat that it landed right on that.
Yeah. And I would think that when you talked about the beginning where you diskinned the Civic and the structural integrity of taking that roof off, by doing that, you reinforce that and you went back to giving it more strength.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely did strengthen it up, but like what happens now is the top of the cab actually acts as the roof of the Honda. And which this cab was never designed to be that. So the roll cage is going to fix that.
When you do your roll cage, is that something that you will include like the B pillars of that? Will you weld to that, or do you leave the roll cage separate? Do you try to let the roll cage be the roll cage and not incorporate using the metal of the cab or the truck or the car? How do you kind of envision seeing that?
On this, particular project, I will be welding tabs to the cab inside, all along the roll cage, and the tubes that come out and go to the bed. I will go through the cab and weld them too, because the cab is permanently mounted.
Okay.
So
cool.
I will weld.
How's the noise overall? Because you've got a lot of, you know, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch little gaps and grooves. Is it a little loud in there?
Yeah, it's got a pretty good amount of wind noise.
Yeah, road noise.
Terrible.
What's that?
Yeah, it's gotten quieter. We've added more stuff in to seal it up. I put new window or door seals in. Oh, here's another fun fact.
Mikey's fun facts.
I bought new door trim off eBay for this truck for the 68.
So door trim or seals or like weather stripping?
Seals.
Okay.
Yeah, the weather stripping seal.
Yep.
And it was like 2 days later, just randomly popped up on TikTok that 2006 and newer Civics. There's a guy that had a C10
Chuck
who was going to the park.
That's my buddy.
Yeah.
Yep. Chuck C does that. He uses those Civic door seals.
So I totally already had that stuff and I bought new, and it never occurred to me. And actually the Honda ones, because I saved those, are still on the shelf at the shop. So I went ahead and used the new ones. So I was like, dang it, I wish I'd have seen that like 2 days ago. You know, it saved me like $60.
Yeah, that's pretty funny to think that he talks about that. That's his fun factor. His little tech tip is using the Civic door seals on the Honda. I think it is Civic door seals on the C10. So what a fun deal. Hey, I love what you're doing. You're having fun with it. I think it's you know, to each his own. It's your truck, what you're doing. If I saw you at a show, the funny thing would be is some guy could pull up. And this is what you got to love about it, right? Is some guy could pull up in $100,000, $150,000 truck, which of course we would love. And then here comes Mikey, you know, the fun fact machine. And we would sit there and we would be like, hey, Tommy, cool truck. I like what you did. And we'd walk over and spend a half hour just looking at your truck to be like, look at all this. This is crazy. I'd be like, I want to drive it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, I will. So Sawdust and Blinker Fluid, that's where they can get a hold of you on TikTok. You said there's a YouTube. What is the YouTube under the same name?
Yeah. Sawdust and Blinker Fluid.
Okay. And then if they wanted to see anything on Facebook, is it just Mikey Rector?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's my Mikey and then last name Rector.
Yeah.
Shit, I got it right. Out of Virginia, backcountry, building some crazy stuff. He's got Chucky C20 converted to almost, I don't know. My brain is the Civic 20, the Civic 10. Whatever. Chucky the Civic 10. I lost you there. Say it again.
8th gen Civic.
Oh yeah, 8th gen, exactly. Oh, it's just crazy. It's a funny thing. You guys are having fun. I can't wait to see what you and your son do with your truck. If the 88, if it kind of resurfaces and you guys get back on it, and then maybe just maybe that Mustang. That's pretty cool. Hopefully you don't get any more speeding tickets in that thing.
No more of those.
No more of those. All right, I'm gonna take you out. Any last fun facts?
That's all I got.
All right, brother. I appreciate you taking time to be with us. C10 Talk, C10 Nation. Take care, brother.
Thanks.
What do you think? Let us know. Our first TikTok connection. I think our first Virginia interview. I mean, again, he saved the truck. Crazy. He's getting 20-some miles a gallon. I think I'd like to see it in person. Maybe test drive it. But I got a feeling he's going to put a 5-speed in it. All right, guys, you know the deal. Let me know what you think, who you want to hear from, and hopefully we'll have Big TODD on next for the 100 square body update and a little Q&A. So if you've got something from that you want to know and something you just want me to ask Todd, fire away. Ronnie, RONNIE at trucktalkmedia.com. Have a great week, guys. Peace.